Man like Robbie here. Welcome along to MLR Daily. It's FA Cup final weekend and I'm starting to get really excited about it as an Arsenal fan. It's the big one this weekend, Arsenal versus Chelsea, and it's going to be a great final. Two great teams, two London teams. Chelsea, of course, the champions. Arsenal with a great pedigree in the FA Cup. They've won it 12 times, and if they win it this weekend, they would have won it 13 times, which is more than any other team in FA Cup history. If Chelsea win it, they will win and complete the double of the Premier League and FA Cup. So a lot riding on it for both teams, a lot riding on it for both managers, particularly Arsene Wenger. He's had a pretty torrid time this season. If he wins this, it would be, well, you couldn't say it's a successful season, but it'd be a season with a bit of silverware, with a little bit of cheer for him in a season where there's not been a lot of cheer. Chelsea, their team looks in good shape. They're really ready for this one. No real injury problems. However, Arsenal have got a bit of a crisis at the back at the moment with key defenders missing. Laurent Koscielny very stupidly sent off in the game against Everton. He's going to be out. Mustafi Shkodran Mustafi is also a doubt for the final. He's suffered concussion recently, and he may not be fit enough to play in the final. And also Kieran Gibbs is a doubt. Now, that could mean a return for Per Mertesacker, the veteran Arsenal defender, who's only played one game so far this season, which was the last game against Everton. And surely, you know, Chelsea will be looking at that and saying, well, that is an area that we can really, really get at Arsenal. But it's a one-off game, and we all know what can happen in one-off games, and that is this weekend, happening tomorrow, the FA Cup the FA Cup final, and it's going to be huge for both teams and should be really, really exciting. Marco Silva has resigned as the manager of Hull City. No surprise, this one. Hull City were relegated, of course, from the Premier League. Marco Silva came in at Christmas and had done a really good job almost keeping Hull City up, but inevitably they went down. But his reputation really rose during the time. A lot of people saw him as a really exciting, fresh manager with good ideas. And he's resigned. It seems to be quite a lot of teams hovering around for him. Watford are interested in him. Of course, they sacked their manager, Walter Matsari, so they're interested in signing him. Crystal Palace also interested in signing him. Remember, Palace's manager, Sam Allardyce, surprisingly left the club during this week. So could Marco Silva end up at one of those two? Could he even return back to Portugal? There's rumours of Porto as well. We'll have to wait and see. But Marco Silva's resigned as manager of Hull City. Where will Wayne Rooney be playing his football next season? Of course, Wayne Rooney lifted the Europa League Cup during the week. But it looks like Wayne Rooney will be leaving Manchester United. He said in an article that the only Premier League club he'd be interested in going to would be Everton, where, of course, he's a Liverpool lad. He used to play for Everton before he went to Manchester United. So maybe a return back to Everton. Or would he opt for the option of going to China? He says he's got lots of options right now. China would be a mega option. They'd be prepared to pay mega money. But would Rooney want to go there? That would probably mean that, you know, if he went to China, no chance of him really being in the World Cup squad for next year. He has, of course, been dropped for the next World Cup qualifier as well. So big decisions this summer for Rooney. Really a lot of big decisions for Wayne Rooney, and it will seem weird to see him not at Manchester United. On Manchester United, they're said to be targeting 3 big signings this summer. Among those signings is Antoine Griezmann. We've been hearing a lot about it, and he's got a release clause of £86 million. Manchester United said to be willing to activate that release clause. They want to link him up with Paul Pogba. The other signing that Manchester United are really interested in is Michael Keane, who, of course, just like Paul Pogba, used to play for Manchester United. They sold him to Burnley. He's done brilliant for Burnley. Now Manchester United and Jose Mourinho would like to see Michael Keane return back to Manchester United. So could that happen? We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that one. There's going to be lots of transfer activity, and expensive transfer activity around Manchester United this summer. And finally, Wilfried Zaha. Good news for Crystal Palace fans. He signed a new 5-year deal to stay at the club. So Wilfried Zaha not going anywhere. He had previously been linked with a move to Spurs, but he has said, no, I'm staying at Crystal Palace. Palace is in my blood, he says, and he will be there next season. Who the manager will be, that'll be another thing, but he will be staying at the club. Remember, for all the best transfer rumours, make sure that you check us out here on Man Like Robbie throughout the summer. We'll be giving you all the best transfer news. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow previewing the FA Cup.
Man Like Robbie.